Shabbat Shalom to all of you. I hope that this is the time that we have a short time and we like to have not only feedback, comments, questions, or whatever you have, ideas that you have got it through this week and reading the blogs and seeing so many things. I would like to have your feedback. Always to me is very important because we are learning from each other. And sometimes the Creator give you wonderful revelations, and we keep it to ourselves, and it's not good. This is for the growing of all of us.
There was a question while you were speaking.
Yes.
He asked, what is the definition of a religious person?
Excellent question. Because the problem is with semantics, and the problem is also with understanding about a religious person. Because for some people, the word religion has a very good and very proper connotation. For others, the word religion has a very bad connotation. I would like to separate the word religion from relationship with God. That's the first. I am not speaking about me, my understanding, okay? When I talk about it, because everybody can have their own understanding about what religion means. I can talk about when I say religion, people, I am talking about my understanding. First of all, I need to make this very important difference. A religious person doesn't have the same relationship with God, in my understanding, that we a believer. Now I am confusing you even more, because a religious person goes through what I would call it, organized religion, the institutionalized religion, go through a system in which he is told what to believe and what not to believe, you know, and if they don't know, follow those ideas, you know, they are taken out. You know, you have, by the way, Orthodox religion, ultra-Orthodox, among the Judaism, you have conservatives, you have Reform, and you have the other reconstructionists, you know, consider. Now we are trying to include the Messianics in Israel. This is a group. In Christianity, you have a lot of groups and denominations. You know, but you have the Christian religion I divided in three very important groups: the Catholics, the Protestants, and the Evangelicals, and then the other addictions they come from there. You know, in Islam there are more than 3 or 4 major groups. You know, you only know the Sunnis and the Shear, but there are other groups. Every religion has a different, and there are religions. Now, I want to say something that may be going to cause problems to some of you. There are many people in those religions, they say that they have a religion, that they have a true relationship with God. Because the relationship with God is not limited to what religion you belong. It's about your relationship with God internally, who you are. But and only you can see that, you know, by your actions, by who you are. We try to divide people, and this is the reason that I say when you become religious, your religion is more important than your relationship with God, with the Creator. And this is what I talk about. A religion is the person who does or act and judge others according to their understanding about what they need to do or what they don't need to do. You know, when you are a true believer, the last thing that God makes you is a judge. Totally the contrary. Takes away from you that pride that you're better than anybody else, and humble you. No? Now, because this word religion, like I said to you, religion is a very difficult term to. I am considered a religious person, being a rabbi. That many people don't consider me a rabbi because supposedly I don't have the ordinations of certain religions. I don't care, because to me a religion doesn't give me anything, you know. But to me, what is important is what the Creator think about me. I am genuine or I am a fake, and that was what I was talking about. No, I do liturgy, for example, and I love the liturgy. To me, liturgy is beautiful because it helps you to intone and to have a relationship in a very special way as a community. The liturgy in Judaism is beautiful when that enhances you and lifts you up to be closer to God. But a liturgy who takes you away from the Creator, that's, to me, that's not good. Then, when I talk about being religious, separate you from God, or I am talking about the person who, for them, is more important the facade, the what other people are going to say, you know, especially if they have their own communities and their own centers, and what the Creator will say. And believe me or not, having my personal experience in many places, that the worst people to judge you are the people of your own community. Okay? Because they are looking at you if you have any fault. They're looking at you if you are not doing the thing accordingly to the way that they do it. No? And then you are judged. Because supposedly you do certain things different. Because the people outside your community don't see that. And the people outside of your community, what you're going to be judged is about how you also your behavior is. Then, long time ago, I stopped being religious. I used to be very religious. I have told you about my experience. I was a balloon, and so the Creator pinched my balloon, and I when we are like a balloon with a lot of air, and then you're pinched, you go boom, I fall flat with my face. And I say, I thank God that the only difference that I fall flat was with my face up. Because if I fall with my face down, maybe I was not going to be able to see what I saw. Then from that moment on, I realized how religious I was. Judgmental like anybody else. I was holier than thou, and I was better than anybody else. And I didn't do what other people did. You know, it was so easy to point my finger to others. Now, no one was at my level. I need to be flat to learn about to humble yourself before God. I saw that. That is the reason that Yeshua is my first and great teacher that I had. He came to open the eyes of his people, and he opened my eyes, little by little. And,
we may not be religious people, but we certainly have religious moments.
all of us.
And
that's the reason that the word religion is very difficult. You know, to have a spiritual experience doesn't make you religious. It is an experience that you have with the Creator, and you need to get it and hold it. It's something very special. But that doesn't mean that you need to tell everybody to have the same experience. It's totally the contrary. is to value your experience and to share other people what also they can do and they can get. Because it's each one of us, we are under the scrutiny of the Creator, and each one of us, we need to be responsible for our actions. You know, most of the religions, they teach you that if you do certain things, you're getting out of the problem, you know, or somebody else can pay for your problems. You know, the true relationship with God, what I have learned is that I am the only responsible for my actions. I cannot blame anybody else. And I need to come out directly to Him. Thank you. I don't know if somebody else has a different opinion, please, I would like to hear. Don't get intimidated by nobody. Speak yourself. Boss, would you like to? I love to hear you, by the way. You want to talk? No. Anybody?
Well,
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I'm unmuted. I have two points. The first one in chapter 26.
Yes.
It talks in verse 6.
Yes.
If we obey, he will grant peace in the land, and we will lie down and no one will make us afraid.
Yes.
Then it says, I will remove, and I'm not sure what the Hebrew word is, but in my version it has savage beasts from the land.
Yes.
And is it possible that that term savage beast could be a reference to Esau? And I'm only saying that based on how he treated Israel, wouldn't let him travel through his land. And it seems, if that's the case, it seems like Esau is alive and well in Israel right now with all the terrorism and the terrible things going on against the people in Israel.
Excellent. I like the analogy, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the worst beast that we need to be afraid, a human like us. Mm-hmm. Okay? And Esau represents in the rabbinical Judaism understanding represents the Gentile world, you know, for them, the Gentile world that is ready to destroy Israel. And what is Palestinian, for example, I can say, you know, today they are there, is because Israel is not doing what is right. Mm-hmm. No, and then the Creator is not taking care of Israel because Israel is not behaving correctly, and even correctly to Esau. From the other side, I will be even more than only the Gentiles. You know, the worst beast that we have right now in Israel are the Israelis who are against Israel.
Oh boy, I saw that one time when we were there.
Mm-hmm.
We drove through Mea Shearim. Some Sabras were driving us to our hotel, and we were driving through Mea Shearim. And I could not believe my eyes when I saw that group of Hasidic Jews burning the Israeli flag in Mea Shearim. I was taken back.
Yeah. And they are super religious.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I am talking about. That's the reason your analogy is really good and is present right now in Israel. Those beasts are there.
And it seems like there's some others. I mean, I look at Israel and the secular Israelis in what they are allowing in the land, which God calls an abomination, detestable.
Yeah.
It's so sad to see.
No respect, no reverence, nothing. Because they by the way, here I say one cannot do it without the other. Okay? the secular Jews who are reacting against the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob really are reacting against the ultra-Orthodox, the Orthodox Jews, who they are making their life miserable.
Mhm.
Okay? Then they don't even know the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Only they are reacting against those people who supposedly are from other times, you know? And the only way that they know how to fight the ultra-religious is trying to make a mockery of what they do and what they believe. Then they see in the Torah, specifically, when they see certain injunction that the Creator said, don't do this and don't do that, they're going to do it even more to show them that they don't care. And there is no respect, there's no reverence. And they think they are doing against the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but God cannot be touched by them. You know, I always say to people, you don't need to defend God. He knows how to defend himself. Many of us we're trying to defend him, but you don't need to. But yes, but today is today to agree with you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to disagree with you, and then no way.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yes, yes, yes. Anybody else?
Pastor Benjamin, you want to speak?
Oh,
Anybody would like to say something? Don't feel. Benjamin.
I have one more comment.
Yeah. Tell me.
And I don't want to take up time. You have people, but
to us,
but-
it's good.
so often in scripture, when God repeats things, I think you need to pay attention.
Amen.
And I'm hopeful that we will be back meeting together, all of us in Canada and the US,
Mhm,
on Shabbats,
mhm.
face to face. But maybe we won't be able to when you get into chapter, I think it's 28 in Devarim. I mean, God repeats again what he says the rewards will be if we obey him.
Yes.
And so I'm hopeful that we will be meeting and won't be able to be with you when we get to that point, because then we'll be meeting together. But it's just an important point. To me, when God repeats himself, you better pay attention.
Amen. Be amen for that. And you know, something only a manner of extra. Right now, even with this pandemic, we are being blessed because the Shabbat is being respected in even unwillingly.
Mm.
People are keeping Shabbat without realizing, because now they cannot go and do whatever they want to do. Then in certain ways, it's like in Jeremiah, Hanabi, the prophet Jeremiah, you know, when talks about 490 years they were out and they came back. Because for 70 years they didn't, you know, they're keeping the Shabbat in the land. The word, the word,
Expelled from the land.
and the word force to keep the land rest. And sometimes it's with us too. It's a good. Pastor Benjamin, ¿tiene algo que decirnos? Do you have anything to tell us?
I want to thank you for the definition of a religious person. For is because I just was reading, and what you said, a religious person is one that puts, let's say, rights or
Dogmas of
tradition
teachings.
over obedience over relationship.
Amen. Yes.
It's because I was reading about Kefa being asked to eat unclean animals, or Avenu Abraham being asked to make a human sacrifice.
Mhm.
And I would imagine the conflict between them. No, this is not possible. This is not right. Something is not right here. But they were sure that it was Elohim himself that was asking that. Uh, uh, and maybe I said, I don't know, I don't understand anything of this, but I've been asked to do it. I'm going to do it. So I just because sometimes I tell people, please don't do that, and they say, oh, you are being just religious. But thank you for the explanation.
Very
Keturah, you were going to say something?
Hmm?
Keturah, you want
Yes, yes. Shalom to all.
to know?
Okay. When I was reading the curses and the blessings and the curses. I don't know. From my perspective, I realized that so much more emphasis was being placed on the curses, and when I continued reading, after a while, I started to get afraid. And I'm thinking, but to me, that's not what God is all about. I don't think that God is really wanting to instill any physical fear in us. But so my question is, why is so much emphasis placed on the curses than the blessings? Anybody can answer?
let me say here, and then anybody can put it there. I mentioned this morning that, there are 11 blessings and 33 curses. And I want to say is, when you do something good, well, it protects you and protects everybody. But when you do something bad, it's not only that hurt you, but it hurts others. And it's like I say, our God is like a father and mother. And I remember very clear growing up, my mother saying, don't play with fire. The first thing is, I remember the hot water that was my mother was doing, and I was playing around. I said, you don't play here because you can burn yourself. And what happened? I burned myself. And my mother came when I was crying out, and she said, she didn't say, I told you so. You are doing totally the contrary. My mother came and said, oh, I'm sorry, my baby. And she started taking care of me, and I was crying. I was disobedient. Why my mother said to me, don't play around the hot water? Because she knew that if I was doing something bad or something like that, I was going to hurt myself. And her love was not to do that some certain things was because she loves me and she wanted to protect me. The problem is that I cannot be protected 24 hours about myself, this is the idea why there's, in my understanding, there are more curses than blessings. The blessings, you immediately see the good thing that comes from it, but the curses, sometimes you don't see it until it's too late.
Okay.
Anybody else?
It seems to be our natural tendency to want to do something that's not allowed more than something that is allowed. Even if you look at a child from the time they're 2, the first words they get, no, I want to do it myself. It's just, even when we're looking at behavior, how often do we comment on people's good behavior, but very quick to comment on the things that they do wrong? It's just, God wants to bring our attention to the things that we do wrong, I suppose.
There's so many things that are happening in the modern world. And constantly I say that are the rights that we believed before, now they are becoming wrong. And the wrong things that we believe it before now, they are right. No, everything unmasked or covered up by the word love. And this word love is so misused and so totally away from the true word of God. Ahava, the word love, can know the same intention or meaning that we have it today. And it's not about feelings. And this is what becomes a problem. It's not about feeling goody-goody. It's totally the contrary. It's a word of action to do something good, to be loyal, to be helping somebody in need or things like that. That's true love, giving and protecting. No? But today, love is about feelings. You feel good, it's wonderful. And love covers multitude of things. That's what you hear in the religion world, and they don't understand what really love is.
Yes. I want to say something.
Yes, Alejandro.
Only thing about the parasha, you mentioned about there is more curses than blessings.
Yes.
We can see in the other way that when we obey, God bless us. But bless us, the blessings are big, wonderful. But when we don't obey, God punish. We can see in the parasha that God speak. If the people not obey, okay, I will punish 7 times. And after that, if the people with that not obey, I will punish 7 times more. Don't we can see that that maybe people can see in the bad way, but it's good. But it's the process that the opportunities that God gives us to do teshuvah. We can see that God give to the men many opportunities to do teshuvah, and when the men recognize, repent, change the way that they're going, God bless. And that is I see in that way that the opportunities that God give us are infinite for all of us. And I want to share that with the congregation that we are glad because Andres finished his master.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov, Andres.
Wow, beautiful.
It's a blessing for us.
I hope he still wants to talk to us.
Yes.
What you just mentioned, only to give you, I used to be a counselor in the areas of addiction. And now that you mentioned the 7 times more. An addict starts with something very simple, only 1 time. Then I'm going to try once. Then I'm going to try twice. I'm going to try 3 times. And then he becomes addict. And then after the while, he said, no, I can stop whenever I want. Keep going, and then keep going, until it gets to a point that the only way that that person can be cured, if we call it cure or saved from that situation, is when that person admitted and accepted that he is doing wrong, is doing teshuvah. Then the Creator allowed this person to go down, 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 down. And every time that he goes down, he's punishing himself.
Imagine it took 10 times with Pharaoh.
10 times with Pharaoh.
Yeah.
But this is a good, thank you. Anybody else? You're the only thing that you need to show me your hand. Okay.
Rabbi,
Alona.
casually this morning I was reading about a psalm. There's a psalm that is called the 40 verse 4. It says, "Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, who does not look to the proud, to those who turn aside to false gods." So it's exactly what you're talking about today. And I think there's no casual. And we have to take care, or be careful to not to have confidence or to believe in people that has false gods. But this is normally these days. It's very difficult to find people that is not has no idolatry.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult. So because you see it's normal. You see any religion, what you said, Christian or even Judaism, any religion in some extremes, they have a lot of idolatry.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
everybody.
But it's not only in religions. You'll see it in medicine. You'll see it in pharmaceuticals. You'll see it in education, in all the areas where people are put up on a pedestal and people believe anything they say. That's how this whole pandemic has gone so out of control, because people are believing lies instead of the truth.
Or the money.
Or the money.
Or another, different kind of idols.
Exactly.
You know, you have heard me speaking for a long time. I put two categories in the same level. The religious leaders and the politicians. And remember, I have been considered a religious leader. That's the reason that I can say that I can talk in this way, you know, because sometimes as a religious leader, you want to be accepted. Then if you want to be accepted, you go with everybody, like a politicians. You know, politicians, you know, okay, you is okay, but it's okay, but no, and then the most difficult thing to be a leader or to be a person of conviction is to stand up for what they believe, even when it's not what most of the people think. And you are going to be judged by that. But at the end, you are going to come out stronger than ever. Yes, the people are not going to be close to you as you wanted. I have gone through that personally, because I decided to speak out about certain things. You know, you can say, I do not agree with you, but it doesn't mean that you stop being my friend. And I have suffered that. You know, people that were very close to me, they used to say, thank you that you have brought me to a new life and you have helped me to grow. Now they don't even talk to me. And I am a person with sarat, you know, a leper. I am an untouchable now. And they were friends of mine that were very close to me. You know, this is why maybe I am so strong against being religious, because I have been there. I know from inside out.
Yeshua was betrayed by his closest friends, by his brothers, by the religious.
By the religious people, the institutionalized religion.
Politics.
They get together with the politicians and you are out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, people, I said to people, look at Jesus, at Yeshua, taking him for a second out of the religious setting or the theological understanding. I only look him as an historical person, okay, as a historical rabbi or teacher or prophet, whatever you want, and look at him as a human being, as a man, and what he was trying to do, no, to bring his people back to Torah, and to try to bring the people back to Torah. Who were his greatest oppositors? Those ones that were against him.
Those who were making their own Torah.
Those ones that made their own Torah and their own rules and their own regulations. And they were the ones that had the power,
right.
the manipulation of the people. They manipulated the people. They may believe that they will say to the followers of Yeshua, if you follow Yeshua, you are out of the community. That happens today.
Mm-hmm.
That happens today. And in any group, you're going to see you follow the Yeshua, you're because and what the religious people join to the politicians,
Mm-hmm.
and they consolidate themselves, and they went against Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
and they kill him, they destroy him. You see it only from the mere political science fits extremely well without being religious, without trying to make it more than what people think. He suffered the consequences for what he believed and he trying to do. And he was destroyed. He was killed. And who killed them? There were two arms, the politicians and the religious institution, both.
Lovely.
Then,
Well, we have 5 minutes left. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say?
any word of wisdom for any of you? I want to. Angelo.
I'm Israel High.
Ay, Rabbi. Más que una pregunta, es algo que ahorita se me acaba de ocurrir y es, estamos hablando de la relación.
Question is something that has just understand or create in my mind.
Estamos hablando de la relación personal con Dios.
We were talking about our personal relationship with God.
Y pues yo entiendo que una relación, yo me relaciono con muchas cosas, con el dinero.
I understand a relationship because I relate myself with many things, like with money.
Con los animales, con mi
With the
esposa, con
animals.
mis hijos.
Yeah.
Es una relación, ¿no? Igual, la idolatría también sería una especie de relación.
La idolatry could be also some type of relationship.
Bien sea que yo tenga idolatría o me relacione mal con el dinero o mal con ciertas cosas.
Like you can have a bad relationship with the money or with other things.
Porque para uno estudia en la Torah y ve que la idolatría es algo muy complicado, muy duro, digamos, el castigo que se recibe o las consecuencias que se reciben por la idolatría.
Yeah, the reaction of what happened after the idolatry is there are many consequences.
Tal vez porque reemplaza la que debería ser la mejor relación personal con Dios.
Because this idolatry replace what will be a true relationship with the Creator.
Eso es.
This is. Yeah, I think you are correct in that sense, and that's what happened to all of us. By the way, I say sometimes that your own children can be your idolatry. You know, I am not talking about something extremes, but sometimes we don't realize. You know,
be food.
You need to be careful what you are so obsessed about your children, about their what is going to happen to them, that you cannot even sleep well, and you can, you know, that becomes idolatry. Because we need to learn about trusting in God. You know, I telling everybody I am a high hypochondriac.
Hypochondriac.
Hypochondriac, and that, and I need to be careful that, especially with this pandemic situation. You know, I take care of myself. I wash my hands, and I do the thing I need to do. But at the same time, I refuse to live under fear. You know, I need to keep living.
Yeah.
I cannot allow fear to take over me. That will be idolatry. Anything that takes over the Creator is idolatry. Anything that you use to replace God, sometimes you don't even realize because it's so subtle. You know, so subtle. There are people, by the way, they have idols in men, women, things, actor, actress, a singer, whatever. You know, oh, it's my idol. They live for those. There's idolatry. Anything that you put before God could be a person, like I said, could be the closest to you could be your own children. You need to be careful. That this is the reason that I like when we talk about dedicating our children to the Creator, because we give it to Him. You know, we have the responsibility to take care of them. Of course, I am not saying to you that. What I am saying to you is that it's like you couldn't sleep at night because something is going to happen to you, or something going to happen to your children. What will happen to them if I die? You know, we have all those ideas. To the time, you prepare yourself, you are the responsible, and you create something in case that something happens. You know, you are always being responsible. And that's the idea. But I don't know. Miss Miriam, I have not heard anything from you all day. But you're okay?
Some thoughts, but I was just thinking before when you're talking about being religious, that it's interesting. There are a lot of people whose hearts are right, like their kavanah, their intentions are good, but they belong to systems that are religious. So sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean you're religious, but the system you adhere to, whether because you've been brought up in that system or whatever. So it really does boil down to the intentions of our heart.
Exactly, the kavanah.
Yeah.
You're right. Alejandro?
¿Qué?
¿Querías decir algo?
No, estaba... Perdón.
Well, I thank you so much to all of you, and we are learning from each other. And
Rabbi, I want to say something.
Yeah.
About restriction. When you talk about restriction, my mind flew in the past. I know some religions impose some restriction. When they put some restriction, there are only two things. People get sick or stressed. I think, in my opinion, we need to be free, no restriction in our lives. That is my opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, many of that. One thing is, I always say to people, remember, your rights ended when the rights of somebody else begins. And that sometimes we put ourselves restrictions for respect to others and to because consideration to others. No, not necessarily about that I don't need to be restricted, but I am restricted because I need to respect others too. For example, I don't need to give a very simple example. I don't believe like this, a person that has that religion, but I respect this person because he's a human being. You know, doesn't mean I need to follow their ideas. But I don't need to be irrespectful of this person. And then I restrict myself to not to do it. Perla. Okay.
Yes, see, I understand. It's better. I love when you this morning speak about restriction, because it's very important in our lives also. Thanks.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Shabbat shalom.
Doña Julia, qué gusto verla. La veo usted, está un poquito, se congelaron. No sé si me escucha, doña Julia. Qué gusto tenerla aquí. Ver. Pastor Montalvo, it's always a joy and a pleasure to have you here with us. Please, anytime that you have questions or have comments, anytime, we are here ready to receive it. Thank you for your participation.
I have many questions. So, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom to all of you.
Thank you.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.